Hey guys, this is Gohan6425 on YouTube, the one and only. And right now, you are watching the one and only great WGS-TV.
Hello everyone, welcome to another installment of WGS-TV right here on youtube.com/WrestleGamer and ZFXTV. I'm the WrestleGamer, Double Beef Only Boudreaux, and I got a couple of guys to introduce you to. First off, he is the Bay Area MVP, known as Will. Will, what's up?
NFL free agency. We're on day 3, ladies and gentlemen. Day 3.
And ladies and gentlemen, he is our resident music mogul over on youtube.com/LanceMossTV. He is the incomparable Lance Moss. Lance, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for having me.
And now, guys and gals, like I said, we got a couple of things to discuss with you here on today's video. So let's go ahead and get started with the person who has the topics at hand for us to talk about, the Bay Area MVP known as Will. Will, what's first up?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to first start off with the ultimate heel plan for Batista. It seems like Triple H had Batista going into Mania as heel. As we remember, he was a face when he came back, and then we just see week by week he's slipping into the heel. While they forgot that Randy Orton was also a heel, did everybody mention or had some type of notion that a heel versus heel match at WrestleMania would not blend in so well? So, Billy, I guess I'll go with you. Would this work, or would the addition of Daniel Bryan actually help out at Mania in your thoughts?
They have to have Daniel Bryan in it. Just based on the fact that we've seen the hatred that the fans have had for Batista, which is unwarranted in my opinion. But like I've said before here on WGS TV, I have already voiced my opinion about fans who are unwarranted hating on Dave Batista for coming back when it was a sound business decision for him to come by. Now, when he first initially came back into the WWE back on January 20th before the Royal Rumble, fans were elated. They were elated, they were happy, they get to see the animal Batista back in the WWE come Royal Rumble time, because the fans out there didn't get what they wanted, which was Daniel Bryan winning the Royal Rumble. Oh, boo-hoo, cry me a beard. And Dave Batista wins it. All of a sudden we got Batista, Batista, boo, boo. And they think, oh, if we boo hard enough, WWE will give us what we want. Well, guess what? You guys are out there, you are completely, utterly insane.
Well, Billy, if I may retort,
All right, Lance,
who has a great possibility of being in the main event at WrestleMania?
Well, Daniel Bryan, because of
well, there you go.
But that's because of the way the circumstances have played out in the WWE. Like I said, when he first initially came back, fans were very elated to see Dave Batista. And then ever since Royal Rumble, it's just been Batista this, Batista that. WWE had to do something to save their main event of their biggest show of the year in WrestleMania from being booed out of the building. And one of the ways they have to do it, and it's something I talked about on the SmackDown review, and I talked about it even on the Monday Night Raw review, especially during the Yes Movement occupation. It's WWE's way of trying to save face with the main event. Now, I'm not going to say that Triple H and Daniel Bryan's going to have a shit match. No, far from it. We know what these two guys can do, despite what the Shining Star Rick Star has to say, in his feelings about Triple H and his lack of a moveset. Boo-hoo, Hogan didn't have a moveset. What was Goldberg's moveset?
Spear, jackhammer, go home.
Yeah, pretty much. But, I will say this, though. They would have to have the matchup, I would think, really, really at the start of the card, or somewhere towards the middle, because you're going to have to give... if they're going to really put Daniel Bryan in the main event, which I believe about 95% sure they probably will, then they're going to have to put the card in the match in like somewhere close to the beginning maybe not open the show, because if you open with Triple H and Daniel Bryan, that's sometimes when you start the show, it's a little bit of a insult. I would think to some of the guys back there, because they kind of call them curtain jerkers in a sense when you're the opening match. But I wouldn't be surprised to see him do it. But I would say, if they do it, they have to give Daniel Bryan, I would think, a little ample time to rest up before they have him go out there and work the main event of your biggest show of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's my opinion. I think initially WWE, when it comes to Batista, I think initial plans were to turn him heel after WrestleMania. But because of the negative aspect and the negative reaction the fans have had to him ever since he won the Royal Rumble match, WWE had to do something to kind of counteract that. I mean, you can't have out there, Dave Batista as a face being booed by the crowd, and it's something the Schlag Daddy on OTR Central talked about. That he wanted to see that Batista with the attitude. The guy that goes out there, he's mocking the fans, he's making faces at the fans, which Batista was. And that's the Batista that with the fans have been, they boo him, and that's the Batista that needs to come back, and that's what he said. And I gotta agree with him on that remark. So I think, like I said, initially Batista wasn't supposed to turn heel until after WrestleMania, but the fans kind of sped up that process, Will. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and very, very out there you put it. See, here's my thing. When he came back on that one Raw, okay, we as writers, fans, enthusiasts, didn't really think nothing of it. But I know, according to Rick, my boss from HWR, said, well, just basically, what is he doing here? He's promoting his movie, and you know what? I mean, WWE always has this little thing in mind that they're always with open arms to their former stars just to promote his movie, Guardians of the Galaxy, for those who don't know. And to be honest, I'm in the middle between this because, okay, he's been gone for, 4 years, if I'm correct? Yeah, 4 years. And, I mean, he went to go do MMA or Bellator, whatever the hell he did during the time being. And
can I interrupt you for 1 second? Because I'm reminded of a sit-down interview that Batista was on with King Mo from Bellator. I believe his name is, and they were talking about what he was doing in TNA, and a question was asked to Batista if he would return to professional wrestling, and he expressed some intent, saying that he would love to return to the WWE. I don't know if you guys remember that or not.
No, I don't remember that interview at all. I mean, I'm trying to catch up with everything, but now that you brought that up, okay. Just to end it in view before I pass it to Lance, is the WWE Universe is going to have their voice regardless if it's good or bad. And the way Batista was treated midway through, you can't expect the fans just to come back and be all joyful while we have other superstars busting their ass for the company, whatever. And I understand where Rick is coming from, but at the same time, it's like, it's not like he went to TNA. It's not like he went to Ring of Honor, nothing like that. So I can't really hate Batista. I can't really have some type of negative inward thought about it because it's not like he and WWE had any backlash or anything negative. But I mean, with every other week, we see the transition of him just being booed, being disrespected. I've done Twitter reports for both of our Facebook pages. I mean, this was Triple H's project all along. It was been reported. So I do agree with you on one thing, that adding Daniel Bryan to what would have been the most boringest match in WrestleMania history would spice things up. Because who here would really want to see Batista and Orton, former members of Evolution, fight each other for like the zillionth time? Definitely not me. Definitely not me.
Lance, what are your thoughts?
Well, the whole thing about why he gets booed, I think some people remember actually how he left.
I do.
I quit!
I do.
I quit! I quit! Really? And they're just going to straight up give him another title shot?
Well, for those of you out there who don't remember exactly what it was the night after Extreme Rules 2010 when WWE announced a brand new general manager in the form of Bret the Hitman Hart. Now, Batista was out there in a wheelchair hurt, but he was also demanding a rematch against John Cena for the WWE Championship at that time. And Bret Hart said he would grant it, but you have to have the match that very night. And Batista started complaining, saying, you know what, I'm hurt, I can't do it tonight. Bret the Hitman Hart said, well, too bad, tonight was your only shot. And that's when he led to the part where he quit the WWE.
And some people, that still leaves a bitter taste in their mouth that, okay, this guy quits like a little baby, or a little toddler, which temper tantrum, which, let's face it, that's what it looked like to me. And then he comes back, has a movie, and now gets a main event at WrestleMania.
Well, we got to remember that the way they pulled that one off is, it was their way of doing it on the air, keeping Batista in his heel character. At that time, Batista chose not to renew his contract because he wanted to venture out into other things like MMA and movies and whatnot. And like I said before, I think it's a sound business strategy to have him come back and promote his movie. I mean, WWE is a huge medium to promote any kind of thing you're doing. Movies, books, videos, anything of that nature. WWE is a huge and successful medium for you to go out there and advertise your product.
I agree.
You can't fault Batista for doing that.
I agree, but I also can understand why people are booing him for, okay, this guy quits, and then he gets a title shot when he comes back. That I can see where that would put. Can you not see where that would put a bad taste in some people's mouths?
Yeah.
And with the whole Daniel Bryan Triple H thing, I can kind of see it being main event of hour one of WrestleMania, so we can have hour and a half to recover before the big dance.
Word is it's supposed to be a 4-hour show, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, yeah, hour, it'd be a length match, have some time to recover. So yeah, main event hour one.
Well, guys and gals, if you've been paying attention, watching this video, you can also put in your thoughts on what we've been talking about so far, especially when it concerns the return of Batista, why the fans have been booing him, and I think we should lead into what the next topic, Will, you had something you wanted to talk about with involving the Yes movement.
Yes, and I mean, ladies and gentlemen, this was something that you will probably never, ever see again on any type of show. The Yes Movement. We had about close to 200 fans that came in with Daniel Bryan.
Now, I hate to interrupt you there, but we need to really clarify something. All right, the people that were in the ring were not fans. The people that were in the ring, and it's actually even been reported on eWrestlingNews.com and various other sites, that the people that were in the ring were actually backstage workers with the WWE.
Well, excuse me, because I did not know that.
Yeah.
I did not know that. I only paid attention to what was in the ring, and that was that. But I guess I could say is good for business or bad for business? Because Triple H and Stephanie McMahon's faces were priceless. Had all them backstage workers, now that I was thoroughly corrected on that one, were in the ring at Black Cave's hit, right ringside, hanging on the barriers, just staring Triple H a death ray. But Stephanie's face was priceless. Then you had Damian Sandow that was going to walk through, didn't walk through. Triple H ordered security. Only 2 security guards? Really, Triple H? 2 security guards. Question is, have you ever seen Stephanie McMahon that pissed off as much as Triple H has?
Yes, I have actually. Yes, I have. You know, especially around the era of the 2000s. You know, when they were first doing like the McMahon Helmsley era in the WWE, and especially at a certain point where in the storyline they said Stephanie McMahon had lied about being pregnant to Triple H when they went to renew their vows. Triple H said the marriage was over. Now, on the Raw review, when I initially said that I really did not like the Yes Movement segment, the Yes Movement occupation, but from a business standpoint and from you know, from this kind of a standpoint, I can understand, you know, the reasoning to use it. You know, it's a great way to build into the fact that the fans are actually involved. You know, the fans out there actually believed in the arena that night that those were actual fans who are part of the Yes Movement that actually went out there and helped Daniel Bryan secure a match with Triple H, and more importantly, possibly a match in the main event for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, so just so WWE can save face. It's you know, Joseph Knight kind of said it was an ingenious move, and now that I've been thinking about it the past couple of days, I gotta agree with him. It was an ingenious move because the fans have always been so overly involved when it comes to the Daniel Bryan storyline that WWE had to come up with something to kind of give them, you know, you're a Daniel Bryan fan, you're looking in the ring, you're seeing this Yes Movement occupation, and I'm like, oh, WWE is actually using fans as part of the storyline. Wouldn't be the first time, though, because we saw that happen in TNA a couple of years ago when it came with, I believe it was Jeff Jarrett taking on Samoa Joe, and the fans surrounded the ringside for the lumberjack strap match, and fans had actually the opportunity to be involved in that. But now, what the Yes Movement occupation is nowhere near what they did for the lumberjack strap match. Yeah, that's easy to say. But I will say, I will applaud WWE, Will, because like I said, it was an ingenious move. You know, fans have always really, you know, it's amazing how Daniel Bryan can captivate the crowd by just throwing up his fingers and either saying yes or no, and it's just absolutely amazing. We haven't seen anyone having that kind of ability to get over on the crowd since Stone Cold Steve Austin's what era?
Yeah. Hey, very sound. I mean, I like I stated earlier, that's the first time I ever seen so many personnel and enthusiasts of wrestling. You put them together, and did you hear that reaction? Did anybody watch the same Raw I did? That crowd plus the movement. Good Lord, Lance, go ahead. What were your thoughts on this overall?
For one, I think when you get it's always a good thing when you get the fans involved in storylines. I mean, you had Hulkamania, you had the whole NWO thing, the whole DX, the whole let's see, Stone Cold movement or whatever you want to call it, the whole what thing. Now you had C Nation, then now the Daniel Bryan thing. It's good for wrestling when they do stuff like this. I mean, come on, and
yeah,
it furthered the storyline, so I approve.
Yeah, and I would also jump on the wagon with you guys on this one. I mean, yes, we had, the Stone Cold, the DX, the NWO. We had all these factions that, makes us want to tune in every night and watch it, you know. And as the great Dusty Rhodes says, and I don't know if you guys know about what he said here. He said, "Don't forget to involve the wrestling fans. It is the fans that go to your shows and make things interesting every night. You want them to go to the house shows, to your live events, the pay-per-views, because they're the ones that are spending money and enjoy what they see." You know, Dusty Rhodes did say that, the American dream. And you know what? I totally agree with Dusty Rhodes on that one. I really do. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to jump ship to the other ship here on WGS-TV, the return of Bobby Lashley. Now, Rick had a head gasket when he came out to beat the decimation out of EC3, Ethan Carter III. I didn't think much of it. He he didn't have a contract. But people are speculating that MVP brought Lashley in which, you know, people are, you know, they quick to assume too many things. You know, a lot of wrestling fans don't have it upstairs, you know, to understand. Maybe he was just backstage to visit some friends, but you know what? Whoever brought him in, poor EC3. Go ahead, Billy. I know you're smiling. Go ahead. What do you think about Lashley return to TNA?
I really don't understand why Rick is so against Bobby Lashley being back in TNA. Now, we've talked to him before, especially a few nights ago, about, you know, Lashley's return, and he said that, you know, Lashley left the business. He doesn't deserve to come back. Well, my point of view is, you know, it kind of sounds like what Rick was saying was, anybody that leaves the business to go do something else doesn't have the right to return. I disagree with that. Lashley had a very decent run in the WWE, in my opinion. Former two-time United States champion, a former ECW, WWE ECW heavyweight champion. But he had quite the matchup with John Cena several years ago at SummerSlam over the WWE Championship. So they saw the guy is talented. You know, Rick wants to jump on this guy, saying that, you know, this guy isn't a good wrestler, you know, that he doesn't deserve to come back. I say I disagree with that. Now, I'm not going to mark out like some people and saying, oh, Lashley's back, I'm going to get excited and whatnot. I am glad to see him back because it can help TNA. It can't. Bobby Lashley is a lot better of an acquisition than Tito Ortiz. What can you do with Tito Ortiz? Nothing. We know what Lashley can do. We know Lashley can work. Tito Ortiz can't do crap. So I say thumbs up to the return of Bobby Lashley. That's my thoughts on it.
All right, Lance, you know you watched the pay-per-view. What are your thoughts on Lashley?
About the whole Rick thing, he even said I think last night, Will, you can back me up on this one. He just he was just never impressed with. Bobby Lashley just never impressed him.
Yeah, we'll back him up. Yeah, Rick did say that. Yes, he did.
If he didn't impress him, he didn't impress him. So, and honestly, never was the biggest Bobby Lashley guy myself. My reaction was, okay, cool. And then I laughed my ass off when I saw EC3 get his ass whipped.
Well, here's my thoughts about it. Yeah, I kind of agree with both you and Rick on this one, Billy, but I understand it from Rick's point of view because I did initially say that, TNA is trying to go a new direction. TNA is just trying to hang on. It's not about the ratings. They're just trying to be, more out there. And in my thought at first, Lashley wasn't going to be the reason. And I'm not gonna diss the fact of what he's done for WWE. He was a United States champion. He was I guess he was a two-time former ECW champion. I say it loosely because it's the WWE's version of ECW, not the original ECW. I don't think he was an Intercontinental champion. I don't think he was. No, I don't believe so. Okay. But I can say, respectively put, that a lot of fans, I guess, agree with Rick's theory about how you're just going to leave and then come back. Now, that's Rick's side. A little bit, truthfully here, I will say here, I did share Rick's sympathy on this because if you love what you do, why do you leave? Why do you want to come back and try to be known? Now, I understand that from Rick's point. But your point, Billy, makes a lot more sense to this because I did not like Tito Ortiz when he came. I'm sorry. Ortiz just doesn't fit the wrestling world. Neither did Quentin Rampage Jackson. But look what Rampage got out of it. A spot with Main Event Mafia, whatever. He helped Kurt Angle, got some respect from the people in the back because TNA and Bellator, they got this love contract. Okay, fine. But I will say here, respectively put, yeah, Lashley was a better acquisition than Rampage or Ortiz. Because if MMA fighters want to come into the wrestling world, they have to adapt to the new styles, the new venues, the new environments, whatever you want to put into it. But it's better right now for Lashley to come back, and it looks like he hasn't lost a step. But poor EC3, like Lance said, he just got his ass whooped.
Well, guys and gals, on that note, what we want to know now from you guys out there, the viewers and subscribers, what are your thoughts on the topics we have to talk about? Again, we talked about the heel turn of Dave Batista. We talked about the Yes Movement occupation. And we also talked about the return of Bobby Lashley to TNA. We definitely want to know what you guys have to think about these topics. Be sure you put your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and favorite this video. Lance, what can fans expect to see when they come visit your channel over on youtube.com/LanceMossTV?
Album reviews, NASCAR discussions. We're not going to make cooking videos, whatever, a little bit of guitar work, and whatever else pops into my head.
And ladies and gentlemen, the Bay Area MVP, known as Will, is over in the hood on iVlog. Will, where can they check you out?
You can check me out my website right there at www.iblog.tv/user/BayAreaMVP, where I discuss NFL, NBA, MLB, of course, wrestling. Doesn't matter which organizations, debates, game shows. I do video game runs and whatever open forum discussions we do. Check me out. Site's right there.
And fans, don't forget to like the Facebook page, facebook.com/WGS-TV, and don't forget to please subscribe to youtube.com/WrestleGamer and youtube.com/ZepXTV Network if you haven't already. So for the incomparable Lance Moss from Lance Moss TV and the Bay Area MVP, known as Will, I'm the WrestleGamer, Double B Billy Bujo, saying thank you very much for watching.